Hey, FIFA. Right. The ads should be done. Hopefully. We are just gonna dive right in here. We got a lot of stuff to look into. Sorry, that thing was like touching my mouth. Alright, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna try this whole updating the stamp thing again. But before I do that, I want to save a new version where everything's at right now. Just in case. But we have a new version of the map from FIFA here. I'm gonna try to load. Last time we tried to do it this way, it just crashed the game. So let's see. Yep. Just crashed the game again. So we'll have to do it the other way. And then when Barb is back from their holiday, there'll be a lot of reports about this stuff. Because that needs to work. The difference is when you load a new version, it should just update the existing stamp that you have to the new version. And it's supposed to happen, at least from the way that they announced it, is that if you have any logic connections or anything to the stamp, it's going to do its best to keep all those connections as well when you load the new version. Hey, Dizzy. So that's what the load's supposed to do. It's supposed to just update the existing version of the stamp to the new version while trying to keep any connections to it still connected. You don't have to like reposition everything. Should just load the new version of the stamp. But this is 2 days in a row now. I guess 2 streams in a row now. Where that load just crashes my game. So So we're definitely gonna have to do something about that. However, that is exactly the reason why all of my game logic is a completely separate group here. So I can just load in the new stamp. See, what's also interesting, I don't know if this is on your part, Tifa. But when I place the stamp, okay, this time it actually did it. This time it loaded the newest version. Last time it loaded the original version, and then I had to update the new placed one to the latest version. I mean, it's your stamp. Loading the new version of your stamp causes it to crash, but I don't think it's anything you're doing. I think it's a bug with the game that they need to fix. What I can do here, get this nice and lined up, so it's right in the same spot. Then I can just lift it up here. Down here. Grab. What's going on here? Grab this. Delete. Not that. What's... Why is it spazzing out here so much? Do that. This back down. So. And everything should just be good. All right, so we're not gonna give away too much by looking here. We're just gonna go explore what's changed. Just trying to think if... No, we should be good to just go explore what's changed. And unlike the last couple times, we have Tifa here to yell at me for all of the stuff that I missed. Why is that text missing? Dialogue is delayed for some... That's interesting. We'll look at that later. Alright, so I'm pretty sure you didn't change anything in here. I think this is pretty much set for now. I didn't realize I could like walk through that frame. Oh, I broke the door. I keep breaking the door. I mean, we can fix this. Yeah, we just gotta put like a gate on there so you can't trigger the animation if the animation's already in place. Have a spaceship flying overhead. That's definitely new. I feel like those branches are new too. I don't remember seeing those branches in there last time. I know you said you added a lot of vegetation, so a lot of this might have been added in the previous version. I don't remember seeing it inside all the rocks. I think that may be new. I know you changed some stuff in here. Yeah, look at that. We got some drones. We got some mining equipment back there now. Some supplies in these shelves. That's neat because not only is that in there, if I'm not mistaken, that's those drones that are in the sky. Like this is where you can buy your own drone, I guess, as a person in this town. I don't know if that's going to be part of the game that you can buy any of that stuff, but it's definitely there in the shop. It looks really good. Can't quite see what those are. Like walkie-talkies, maybe? Things down in the display over here. I don't think anything's changed up here. I think that sign's new. I don't remember seeing that before. Oh, you added like a little... Yeah, I keep meaning to turn the music off, but I keep forgetting. I guess let me do that, since that is something that you added here. It's ambient sound effects and things. None. 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 I don't know what happened here. Last time I checked this, the dialogue was working correctly here. I don't know how it got off. Did it just disappear when I landed over there? Thought I saw the fin of it sticking up over there, and then it disappeared. Hey, I had to test it, okay? Definitely something going on in there. I think this stuff was here last time, but this, like, entryway's new. Pretty sure all of this is... Nice. Person back here on the surgery table now. However, if I'm not mistaken, you had animations on those guys that don't seem to be working. I don't know if that's on you specifically. Could just be, yeah. Hey, Maggie, going on? And play kick the can. So I can make like a little Easter egg where if you kick a can all the way out of here and put like rusted, broken down soccer goal or something in the junkyard, you kick it all the way over there, you'll get like a little pop-up or something. Oh, there is a person sleeping over here. Are they sleeping or are they dead? I guess they're moving, so that means they're breathing, right? I want a new app because I got frustrated with water tracking apps bombarding me with ads. Nice. Yeah, unfortunately, all apps are just so bombarded with ads. I know these screens are new. I think a lot of back there is new too, isn't it? I think this was pretty bare back there last time. 15 minutes, nice. Like a little town off in the distance now. Hear what sounds like more sound effects coming from in here now. I know there was some before, but I think it sounds different. Take a look in here and see if anything's changed in here. Oh, sound effects down here now. Agimetal gifting that sub to Thifa. Thank you very much for that. And welcome to the ad-free viewing, Thifa. I think I just got squished. Am I going to stream on New Year's Eve? Yes. On the left. You talking about this thing? Like a little generator in here for the lights? Or did I miss something else? So it looks like you added gates in here. I don't think were in there before. I need to disable the double and triple jumps, I think. This is the ore detector thing, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, okay. It's got some environmental hazards here. I think somebody should probably fix that oil leak. New Year's Eve is, I believe, Tuesday. So yeah, I plan on streaming New Year's Eve. I'll probably try to do a little bit of a later one. Or a longer one. Try to stream through to the new year. I'm gonna check around here real quick. I think these little rocks are maybe new. Maybe new the last time. I don't think I came over here. Okay, I can't clip. I can sort of clip through. I clipped through enough to fall down that hole. Well, I can clip around on that side as well. This here, I don't know if that's intentional. It's just not covered, so I would expect to be able to jump through that anyways. Yeah, I feel like these rock formations are new. I don't really remember seeing those last time. This might even be, this pile of rubble here might even be new. A trench. I kind of feel like this was more open when I walked in last time. So I made it something. What did you make it? Okay, this is definitely a little more fleshed out. Ship did not disappear. Whatareyouddoing.com. Nice. Oh yeah, I think I have the just the Twitch automaton that doesn't allow links to be posted. Like a small little makings of a village over here. Another little landing pad, it looks like, maybe. I imagine all this is still in development. Yes, I will be streaming on New Year's Eve. And if I don't know for sure if I'm going to do it, but I may stream longer just to stream into the new year that night. But we'll see. I'll at the very least do normal time. Yeah, actually, so interestingly, you mentioned that goal. Goal's wrong up there. It says I have 7, but Twitch says I have 8 subs. I don't know why. I don't know why the goal's missing one. That could be if the subscribers on Twitch counts me, the goal might not count me. But I don't think it does. I don't know. I don't know enough about this stuff. I just know they're one off. I'm gonna guess there's nothing out here, but I have to go check just to make sure. I know I have built a ridiculous amount of Twitch bots without having enough experience on Twitch to know how stuff actually works. I just assume how it's supposed to work when I make my bots. That's it. Alright. We covered everything. I think it's coming along very nicely. Probably not gonna change any of the movement stuff anytime soon. Just because it's easier for me to run around when I can double and triple jump. But you probably will be limited to a single jump in the actual game. And that might even go so far as to, like, when you're inside, like when you're in your house up here, you can't even run. You just have to walk while you're inside. Small little things like that. Like being able to run in here. It's really not necessary, but it also kind of forces you to see more of the stuff, I guess. And when you come outside, you can run. And yeah, so you can't jump over everything. But, I mean, jumping over stuff, we can fix that pretty easily. I can just go around and put invisible zone walls in all the places that I don't want people to be able to get to. If I need to. Probably don't want people climbing this thing either. I actually don't think you can climb this with just a single jump. I know you can kind of get up here from this little spot over here. But I don't think... let's see, how far can I go up just single jumps? I can actually get pretty far up here with just single jumping. What was that sound? I have no idea. It's coming from these things, maybe? Or it's in the... Yeah, I'm not sure. Go take a look. It's coming from in here somewhere. Is there like audio hidden in here somewhere? Yeah, there's an audio thing hidden in there. I guess downtown is early fireworks countdown at 7 p.m. and again, so even if we don't stay awake, we should be able to watch from our window. Nice. It'd be like our Vegas trip, yeah. Where we just watched all the fireworks from the window. I'm not going to change anything there, but yeah, there's an audio thing hidden in there. It's playing like a water steam sound. Let's figure out what's going on here. Why is there an extra text thing getting added? So collaboration right now is difficult. So the game has concepts of stamps, which is basically you can create anything, save as a stamp, and then anyone else can pull that stamp into their world and use it. So that's pretty much what we're doing right now. Is the whole level is just a stamp that Thifa's making, and I just pull it into my arc and add all the logic on top of it. What's supposed to work that doesn't, well, I don't want to say it doesn't, it's not working for me right now, but you can save different versions of the stamp, and you're supposed to be able to load in the new versions as new versions come. But every time I do that, my game just crashes right now. So I don't know what the issue is there. But there's definitely an issue with loading in updated versions. they have mentioned that they want to do collaborative building where multiple people can build in the same arc at the same time. But we just haven't gotten that far yet. And I guess to some extent, I understand why it takes so long. So at the end of the day, the whole goal, I guess I don't want to say the whole goal, but at the end of the day, all of these arcs are going to be monetized, right? And they currently have like a credit system. So if you're using stamps from other people, whoever contributed to that stamp gets credit for it. And then when they do monetization, part of the money that the arc makes will be distributed to the people that contributed to the stamps that went into that arc as well. So for them to do collaborative building where multiple people can build the same arc and not just contribute via stamps, I'm sure they got to figure out how they handle monetization with that. Like, is everything split equally amongst everyone that contributed? Is there like an arc owner that then invites people to it with certain percentages of ownership, or something like that? I don't like. They haven't talked anything about it, so I have no idea what it is that they're planning. But I can just see there's so many different ways that credit or that work can go. And that's probably one of the biggest concerns they have, is they don't want to just throw it in there. Then, once you start messing with people's money, it becomes a big issue, right? So they probably definitely want to avoid that. So we'll get it eventually, I think, but I'm not expecting that to be anytime soon. But the whole stamp thing, if they can get the issue where you can load in the new versions of stamps without my game crashing working well, I don't think that's too bad of an issue. I think the only downside there is, like, again, when it comes to the monetization of things, I think right now, like in this arc specifically, it's my arc, but Tifa designed the whole world, right? And I'm pretty sure, as far as credit goes on this arc, it's just me and Tifa right now. I don't think there's any other stamps or anything in here from anyone else. So if they monetize the way that the community at least understands they're going to monetize, just without doing anything extra, Tifa would get the credit for the stamp, and then I would get credit for the arc. And the way that's divided is, they haven't given any specific percentages, but the way that it's kind of been talked about is it would be like 11% would go to be divided amongst all the contributors, and then 89% would go to the owner of the arc. And then that 11% would then be divided amongst everyone that's contributed based on how much they've contributed. So there's like a contribution score. I can actually if I go look at the credit portion of this arc, if I go to credits, see there's a credit score as well. I'm not exactly sure what the score means, like how it's calculated, but it's gonna eventually work out to how much of that 11% each person's getting. So it's all up in the air. They haven't, as much as we've asked, they haven't really announced anything about how monetization is going to work in the future. So it's all really speculation at this point. But it would be nice to be able to You know, I mean, this game probably wouldn't exist without all the work that Thief was putting into this level. So to be able to say, hey, here's, you know, an extra 20% or whatever on top of whatever would be nice. And I'm sure, you know, when that comes out and people start building really complex things and working with teams of people, you know, I guess you could always do outside contracts that define all that stuff up, but it would be nice if you could just do it in the game and you don't have to worry about all that other stuff. Hopefully that was a good explanation. Yes, we did end up getting pizza last night. $10% to Trench just for being a nice guy. Of course. Yeah, I don't know where this blank dialogue is coming from, because then the rest of the dialogue comes in after it. So somewhere in there, an extra empty dialogue is getting triggered. I don't know where at. So this here. Oh, it's probably this, actually. Is this... Oh, there's dialogue in here. I haven't actually tested that that works. That gate was opened by default. Should have been closed by default. Which means some of my other stuff might have been leaking in there. Let's see if that was the issue. That was definitely the issue. I don't know why it was blank. That's interesting that it was blank. And then that leads me to... I think where I left off at... Should be able to talk to Jax, and the dialogue comes up, but I do need... Yeah, so that right there is the text block that was showing up, and it's blank. So there's something wrong with that text block anyway. But I think what I stopped working on is I want the ships flying around. Yeah, that's all Thifa here, adding all these extra little touches. So what I need to happen is we're gonna pull this up real quick for a second. I need to be able to turn this on and off. Turn this off. We'll use these to turn that on and off. What I'm curious if I have to worry about any of this, or if turning this off triggers the on exit event. We're going to test that out. And then what we're going to do here, working on any new tutorials. So I actually haven't been working on any tutorials lately. That doesn't mean I'm not going to. I'm probably going to take a lot of the stuff that I'm doing for this arc. It's like this whole custom interact volume. I'll probably do like a tutorial on that. Maybe once I get the whole like questing system fleshed out, I'll do a tutorial on how some of that works, or at least a tutorial explaining how to use it, and then publish it as a stamp so people can have the quest functionality. Right, so what I need here is, I could probably just tie up the same one, but for the sake of keeping things separate, which one of these was off? That's off, that's on. So when you talk to Jax, I should turn this off. You start quest 1. Should turn this on. Let's put that back now. That's not what I wanted to do. Why is that? Put that back down there now. I think I've inspired you enough to jump in again today, maybe. Start learning the logic. Can't be a bum like this forever. Just gotta, I keep saying that. Alright, that's really all it is. You just gotta dive in. You gotta dive in. Start simple. Like, I think that's probably people's biggest concern, or biggest issue, is they have this like grand idea of, I want to do the super complex system, and then just get burnt out immediately. Start simple. Make some small things. Learn the different logic nodes, what they do. All the little quirks of all of them. And go for it. Use the Discord. Ask questions. I try to answer any questions I see in there if I can, if somebody else doesn't get to them first. And then for a while there, what I was trying to pump out the tutorials every week. A lot of the tutorials are based on what people were asking in the Discord. Yeah, I mean, that's the best thing to do. Just kind of prototype some stuff out. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time through. I mean, this whole arc was at one point a very shittily put together town where I just stole assets from some other arc and put it all together. Right, so now when I press F, it does go away. The dialog comes up. Exactly what I want it to happen. Then I don't have to worry about tying in a whole bunch of logic to when I turn on and off, the UI's got to go away, and this has and that, and this and that. And just turn the thing off, and it's gone. All right, so now let's figure out why this other text dialog isn't showing up. So, funny you mentioned the door tutorial. There's actually a part 3. I think I did part 1 and part 2. There's actually a part 3 to that door tutorial that I never finished. I never finished editing. I had all the footage for it, but I never finished editing it together. But part 3 was an important one, and I'll actually show you why. Let me just see if I can debug this dialog thing real quick. Yes, there's a door tutorial. So I mean, you could have at any time just checked my YouTube. So what's going on here? I did not mention it. I mean, you're right. My bad. What's going on here? Everything seems hooked up right. And I mean, it's getting through to here, otherwise it wouldn't show up. So why is the dialogue not showing up? This needs to be... Maybe this needs to be a separate sequence. Let's try that. Event 2 will be that. Event 1 will be that. What else do I have coming off of this? Event 1 needs to be that. Okay, so I just have 3 things coming off event 2. There, 1, 2, 3. So then I need to cancel those. Event 2 here needs to trigger this one. By this guy back in there. And 2 of those events are happening on sequence 1, and the third one's on sequence 2. I didn't say I was planning on finishing it soon, but I do need to actually finish it. But I will show you in a second why it's important that I finish it. Let's try that. Let's see if this works, then I'll show you why it's important. 'Cause part one, I think part one I just made a door. In part two, I worked on covering the different scenarios to make the door work without breaking. Part three was going even farther on that. I guess maybe going a little overboard, but I'm pretty sure I made a door that was impossible to break. And there's definitely, it's like the door that was back up there, where the door just slides up and down. Those types of doors are a lot easier to do as well than doors that swing. And you want to swing both ways. All right, so that worked. That fixed my text from coming up. So that works good. Let me just save all of this real quick. I'll show you the door stuff real quick. So if I remember correctly, should have a tutorial 5 doors. Yes, I made separate arcs for the different tutorials. I made 3 different doors, and I think these 2 are the videos that are out there, and then this one's the one that the video's not out there yet. But this door, so I got like an eyelash in my eye. So if I remember correctly, there's this door, like it works, it opens, but like, if I remember correctly, you're able to break it pretty easily. Yeah, by just like going in and out of the... This door, we fixed some of that, but see, there's other issues now. So it's kind of like, it works if you use it correctly, but you know, players are never going to use things correctly. Like, it works good for just stuff like this, but as you saw, like if I just run in here, I can make the door like go all around in circles. This door here works just like that other door. Opens and closes, but no matter what you do, we're still gonna break it. Actually, I haven't actually checked this in a while. It looks like it's got a little offset. I don't think it was that way to begin with. But you can't like make it fully break. Still functions as a door. And then I did do the timing to be as close as I can to... It opens just enough time for you to walk through it without having to hit the door and stop. So this door was tutorial 3. And the big difference there was I used a bunch of gates on this door to try to prevent some of that breaking. Here I just replaced a lot of those breaks with a lot of booleans to basically track the state of the door. If the door was moving, it just wouldn't let you do anything until it was done moving. But if I remember correctly, we'd have to, it's been a while, so I will have to try to remember what all I did here. But I do think that, yeah, nothing stops these, but on start, so when you enter here, yeah, so anytime you enter the zone, it checks the state of the door. The door is already doing something. It doesn't try to do something else, right? So I just did a bunch of logic to track the state of the door, whether it was opening one way or the other. Instead of just trying to prevent actions from happening, which is what the gates are doing. Then this door, I think, was trying to do the same thing as gates, but with booleans. So instead of just trying to say, hey, if it's already opening, don't open, I went as far as, what's the state of the door? Is it opening? Is it opening inward? Is it opening outward? And then based on that, do some action. I don't remember what this door was. I think I was just trying to make a different style of door over here. I don't know if this door over here was part of any of the tutorials. I think I was just trying to do like a fancy... Yeah, I was just trying to do like a little fancy door here. But doors like this are much easier to do than doors like that, because there's so much less to keep track of. It's either open or it's closed. It's not open to the left or open to the right. So I would argue that not exactly the style of door, but anywhere you can have a door just like slide in and out is going to be easier to do. But I mean, like if you're trying to build like a city or something where people can go into buildings, right? This is like your supermarket door or whatever. But that's kind of what I want the tutorial to be about, is the more complex stuff, because if you understand how to make that door, you understand how to make that door. You just cut out half of the logic and make that door, right? Does it stay open if you stand in the middle? It should. And this one's relatively simple logic. The only complexity is because there's 3 pieces of the door, so I have to move 3 different things 2 different ways. And at least from my experience, this whole the whole reverse on these move nodes doesn't work, so I don't use them. I just use a separate move node that's the opposite movement. Other people might have different experiences, but the reverse has never really worked properly for me. Yeah, I mean, these doors are much easier to do, much less to keep track of. And, I mean, for most stuff, they work just fine. I mean, I think very rarely, I guess I don't want to say very rarely, it all depends on the theme and the style that you're going for. But like the doors that Tifa put into Aether Ridge here, I mean, it worked perfectly with the design, right? Which door? I can actually just go do that right now for you. You just want the sliding one, or do you want the swinging one too? I thought I selected the whole world, but no, that's just the audio I put on there. Make sure that's everything. Sliding door. Because I'm super creative with names. We'll just create that stamp. And we will publish it. There you go. It's called Sliding Door. Should be published. All right, so now we have the dialogue working, which is great. Because all future dialogue is just going to be chains of this stuff. All right, this is one dialogue block. This is the next dialogue block. The way that I have this logic set up is that I don't need to care about timing at all, right? If I just feed dialogue into it, it just queues it up. Handles all the delays and everything. Use up that dialogue, and then we'll just display them one at a time until it runs out of queued up things and the dialogue block disappears. So what will be really nice is when we get a macro node, I can just make all of this a macro node and you wouldn't even see any of this logic. Just have a macro node that you'd send text to. So that will make doing my dialogue easy. Start trying to label some of our stuff here, so I can keep track of what's going on. I don't have a whole lot of the dialogue fleshed out yet, so once I do, we'll probably have a whole stream of just going through and creating dialogue. But what I would like to do I guess this is something that I haven't worked on yet. So I need to know when a chain of dialogue is finished. Actually, Thifa, if you're still here, so I haven't done this yet. Haven't set my fog and stuff. So I have the time of day right. I didn't update the fog. You still have those fog settings of what you have. So I can make the match. I think you sent it to me at some point in Discord, but I don't remember how long ago that was. One 9. It's the color. Did you change anything with the density and all that? 0.123. .04. Perfect. Yeah, that gives that nice hazy effect as you look out. Brings in the atmosphere a little bit better. All right, so what I need to do here now that that's taken care of is I have this guy. Currently have, I want to make sure I'm not I want to make sure I'm not creating too many similarly named events. But I want a dialogue finished event. Which should hopefully only come up when a block of dialogue is finished. So what that should allow me to do is over here. Do I want to do this over here? No, I don't think it's over here. Maybe just do it over here. Dialogue finished. Need a gate there because dialogue finished is going to happen a lot. So we're going to open that here. I only want this to trigger when it's the dialogue finishing for talking to Jax here. We'll make sure this is closed by default, which it is. Then what I need to do is trigger node in here. This trigger node is purely so I can close that, then hide this objective. So when you're done talking to Jax, the objective's gone. And I mean, eventually that might not be hide, that might be push the new objective. I'm not sure what I want to do with objectives right now, because what I've noticed is, I guess just for the sake of this demonstration, if I do go do something else. If I push this here like so, from previous experiences with the objective UI stuff, is like when you complete an objective, it marks it as, like, it shows a different UI thing that makes it look like you've completed the objective. Then that UI sticks around. And we're just gonna test and see if it's the same way right now. This is not the real dialogue for the game, by the way. I just threw this stuff together to make the functionality work. Alright, so that wasn't too bad, right? The transition to the objective. So that may be fine to just keep doing that. I feel like before it like turned green, like it was completed, but then kept that green color. But maybe I was just doing something wrong in whatever arc that was. Kind of dialogue am I wanting? To be perfectly honest, I don't know. I'm still hashing that out. I got some examples of things, but really it's got to push the story along, right? And that's the main thing, is I don't want any of the interactions to feel forced. I don't want it to feel like you're only coming to talk to this person because the game's telling you to talk to this person. I want you to feel like I'm going to talk to this person because this is what my character would be doing. And this conversation you're having, I want it to be that this is a conversation my character would be having, not this is the conversation the game's making me have to make sure that the story happens. So go do something else. I feel the freedom. Exactly. That's kind of my issue with the dialogue right now. I don't, like, I know what the story needs to be. I know what the overall goal of the story of the game is. I just haven't fleshed out dialogue that pushes that along correctly. I also want to play around with if I can throw a custom camera in here. Need that to be all the way down there. I've actually never seen that movie. Can get this camera here. Get my camera to not be so fast. This is, I kind of want it to be like this angle. So bring this over, turn it a little bit more. And then bring it slightly up, rotate it slightly down, maybe a little too much down. We'll go with that for now. Then we're just going to trigger this event. We're going to turn this camera on. This camera, prevent movement. We'll disable the HUD. Just do like that. I don't know if I want it to be interpolate or fade, but we'll see. No JS merge update. Full TypeScript. I did not see that. That's interesting. It's very interesting. Wondering now, can I just do dialogue finished? Off that camera. And I probably should put a gate in there just for simplicity's sake. It's not going to matter because it's only going to turn the camera off if the camera's on. I do really like these UI boxes. Like the more I look at them, the more I like just that little extra flair. No, those are custom. Then do I get my camera back when the dialogue finishes? Yeah. Okay, perfect. That was pretty good. We'll stick with that. I mean, that's going to be probably a little bit longer. It definitely was made from parts. I haven't put them on here yet. But this quest log that I haven't done any fleshing out of will eventually have the borders on it too. How does that work? So, I had this crazy idea the other day, and then FIFA went and ran with it. But we can create gameplay items now, which means you can turn anything into a gameplay item, which is great, right? A gameplay item is just like a custom inventory item. So that's cool. We can make our own custom inventory items. But what we can also do with those is create thumbnails for those things. And then we can use those thumbnails in the custom UI stuff. So you can create designs of whatever you want. Take a picture of it as a thumbnail. And that thumbnail can be a UI element. Correct. It has to be a thumbnail of something you make in game. Currently, there's no way to get anything that's not in the game in the game. Tutorials win. I think that one will eventually be a tutorial. I don't want to dive too far into that one because I don't know what they're gonna do with the custom UI stuff in the future. So it might be something they add in. A better way of doing it. They might make the custom UI stuff easy to use to make your own custom designs, so you don't have to do things that way. So I probably won't make a tutorial on that, at least until they expand more on the custom UI stuff. Otherwise, I'll make the tutorial, and then in like a month it'll be outdated and not relevant. So what do I want to do now? What do I want to do now? So I actually have an idea for a cutscene. I'm not quite sure how I want to put together yet, or how possible it's going to be to put together. I don't know if I want it to take place down there, but basically, so a big part of the story is that Eli wants to get out of this place. One of those reasons that she wants to get out of this place is because she doesn't want to die here. Because that's what happened to her parents. Her parents died here. And she doesn't want that to happen to her. So she wants to get out of Aether Ridge. She wants to get to somewhere where she can live a better life. So I want to have like a flashback cutscene that maybe not necessarily shows exactly how it happens, but you know, have like her parents down here and like the mine caves in or something happens as like a bit of a flashback of part of just telling the story. But I don't really know. Like, I can make a scene. I can make like rocks fall. I'm not really sure what I can do with the AIs that will be predictable enough to keep it as a cutscene, because the AIs don't behave consistently in general. And I actually haven't fully decided how her parents have died. But, you know, is it a cave-in? Is it like a gas leak? Is it some machinery thing? I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think it's super important how they died. I think just the fact that they died here working in these mines is a big driving factor for her to not want to live her life here. Yeah, actually, even I, as the player, get stuck on that hose. But, I think I'm leaving a lot of that to Thifa. I don't want to mess with this stamp too much, because I don't want to interfere with anything that he's doing with designing it. Trying to keep everything I do as its own group on top of it, so there's no interference. And like the only things that will interconnect them is like I have actually don't have anymore, but like I'll have this blip node pointing to even okay, like this blip node here will point to person in the map, which supposedly, when I can just load in the new version of the map, the new version of the stamp, that connection should stay. But I haven't been able to successfully load in the new version without replacing it. So what else do I need to do? What other systems do I need? I was gonna do a new system for managing the objectives, but I think the objectives are always going to be so specific and require other actions that this is just kind of going to be my objective handling. Just kind of similar to what I did in the old Aether Ridge, was just have kind of organized strings of logic for handling the different objectives. What I might do is, so I have this blip for, I actually don't have anything. I don't have anything telling this blip to hide. What I think I might do is, currently this is just start based on the quest that I'm on for the blip. I'll probably instead, what I'm actually going to instead, going to be Jack's blip on and Jack's blip off. So that way it's a little more generic. And just anywhere, any part of any quest that I need these blips on, I just call those events to turn them on and off. For example, I actually just grab both of these. Come back over here to my logic stuff. Okay, where am I? My logic stuff over there. So here, when the talk to quest Jack, or talk to Jack's quest starts, I'll turn the Jack's blip on. Then when the dialogue with Jack starts, I turn the Jack's blip off. And I'll do that with all the various blips I ever on the map. So I'll just have events to turn them on and off. It's very possible that these blips will get reused through different quests. So I'd rather have a more generic way to turn them on and off. Auto show on start. Okay. So let's just make sure that that's working as expected. Got the blip on the map. Really broke the door. It's actually the first time I've broken the door without, like, trying to break the door. So yeah, we'll have to get that door fixed. I see, like, I can walk over the corner of the hose. I can't walk over this chunk of the hose right here. Or this chunk. Or that corner. could I animate the UI? So I don't think there's currently any way to animate the UI stuff because none of the positioning values can be passed in as variables, which means I can't change them. I can only set them to what they are, and that's it. I could add to it based on different things. I could add different effects to it that are just extra visible things that are on it. But until the positioning values can be passed in as variables, I don't think we'll be able to animate them. Suppose I should probably have the objective go away. When you first talk, instead of it being up there during the conversation. But yeah, the blip went away on the mini map too. Can I do that? Start off that same event over here. Hide the objective. I will make it so you don't have to watch this intro every time as well. I already have some logic in place that keeps track of your character's position. So yeah, I actually thought about that trench as well. And while I think you could do that, I don't know how smooth of an animation you would get out of it. So it would definitely be interesting to see somebody try it. Alright, objective went away this time, which is good. Then new objective. Now, flip's gone. Yeah, I don't know how smooth of an animation you would get. And I guess you can probably, if you can get a... like if I just do... Just do a simple shape. Keep it like that. We'll put it in the center. I don't know why I spread these so far apart. I don't spread that far apart. If I just do like... I'll start with just doing a very small amount. Right, something like that. make this group so I don't end up messing with anything. And then if I just have like a repeat node that repeats infinitely, the delay of 0.0 or 0.1 every time it runs. Can't do a gate. No, I can do a gate. So this is going to show this one. And open this gate. Let me make sure these are closed by. This one is going to close that gate. Hide that one. Show that one. This will. And open this gate. This one will close that gate. I need more space here so I can see what I'm doing. Let's just spread these out a little bit more. Hide that one, show that one, and open this gate. Close that gate. Hide that one, show that one. Open this gate, close that one. Hide, show. Open, close, hide, show. Open, close, hide, show. Get the hide there. Close, hide, show. Close, hide, show. Open, close, hide, show. This one will just have reopen this one. This one will hide that one. And then on repeat, just activate all of these. Whichever one's open is the one that'll go through. So it's not moving. I'm also moving it very little. And it's repeating very quickly. Let's change this to 1 now. Can't tell if it's moving. Let's make this 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 35, 40, 45. It should be noticeable if it's moving, right? When actually, they're all just showing on start. That's a problem. I also need this first gate to be open by default. Because it's probably not doing anything. Turn off all this auto show on start. Yeah, I could have selected them all. Now none of them are showing up. That's because nothing's triggering my repeat node. So one of these days I'll remember to do this. I'll just do on start. This doesn't matter. Didn't I make? Apparently I didn't add any of the stuff. And I also just didn't add it all again. And then this, let's activate that. All right, so the box is moving, right? It's a little jittery. So if I brought this repeat down to be, and what would 30 frames per second? 30 frames per second is half a frame. There's a frame every half a second, right? No. 30 frames per second is one frame every, I don't know. I can't do math right now. I feel like every point three, I don't think I can go that low. We'll put this back to 0.1. It's not moving at all. At 0.5. Actually stopping after the 5th move, it looked like. Which is a good sign that I didn't hook something up correct. Yeah, I don't know if I'm not seeing it move because it's the looping's not working correctly. So it's just getting to a certain point and not looping anymore. I did something incorrectly here. Let's close that. So open. I guess let's just start from the opens that, shows that, hides that last one. Hides that, opens that one, opens that one, that closes that. Open. I feel like one of these gates maybe just isn't getting open. I hooked it to the wrong one. Open. Open. I see how that one's got closed showing. Means I don't have this. Oh. But also means that it's fine. I'm just messing around here anyways. That also means that this isn't closing it. And this guy needs to get closed. That one. So now let's put that delay, put that repeat interval down to 0.1 again, 0.1. So I guess in theory, you probably could do this. That would just be a pain to make any good looking animations. What could be neat, instead of, I guess what could be neat is a, it's not so much animating, but you can hide the HUD, the normal game HUD. You could make your own custom health bar with like 10 different stages that just show that, you know, every 10% of health or something with a number of your health. Create your own custom health bar that just transitions between showing the right UI based on how much health you have. I guess you could do 20 different, however many different states you want to deal with, so that could be interesting. You could do the same thing with like, so how in hideout holdout you have an ammo amount, you could have something that shows on the UI like how much ammo percentage wise that just updates based on that. So you could do things like that easier, I think. But I mean, you can definitely make things move if you want to go through that much effort. But to get it to do anything like fancy, and that was the fastest I think I could animate that. At least with a repeat node, what I might be able to do instead, a repeat node, I think a delay node I can go, no, I can't go any smaller than 0.1, the delay node either. Let's think with the delay node, I could just have all of these trigger the delay node, which would give me the same effect as the repeat node. But the delay node, I can't go any faster. So you'd have to figure out how much movement you could do at what rate to make it look somewhat smooth. So I don't want to say it's not doable. And I mean, you're the guy that sits there and puts together AR text pictures, so you have a lot more patience for doing something like that than I do. That's the drones. I was wondering what that was up there. So just trying to think what to work on next here. Absolutely need to figure out some dialogue more before I dive too deep into making the dialogue happen. I have all the systems in place to do the dialogue. I think I don't know. I think that's where we're at. I'm gonna have to push myself to create the dialogue, create the flow of quests, so I can actually start working on some of the other quests. Just gotta pull up documents over here. Just give me 1 second. Wish the music didn't cut out when I tabbed out. All right, so what we want, let's actually just do this as well. Character movement. I want an action restriction. What's it called? If I could spell, I guess. Action restriction volume. And you can't jump, you can't sprint. Can't really do anything when you're in the house here. This all the way here. Make sure it's not leaking out anyway. Look like it covers all the way to the front. Where's my all the way to the front door? I don't want it to leak out on the wall there. Try to bring it back just a little bit. Little node, grabby node thing. Hidden. Be there. Did that, so it's all the way there. Doesn't stick out anywhere. Covers the whole room. And just so you can't like cheese it and try to climb on top of furniture to get out of it. Make it the whole height. It's pretty good. I'm gonna do that. Then I want to start getting the Eli is going to come out of the house, come down here, speak with Jax at the bar. Jax is Eli's friend. That's not just like a random person she's coming to speak to. They're like friends. Talk about her troubles. She wants to get out of here, blah, blah, blah. Previously, in the old version, Jax just said, this is what you need to do to get out of town. You need money. Go talk to these people or go to the quest board or whatever to get money. But I think what I'm going to do instead is you're going to have that's going to be like multiple parts. So Jax is just going to kind of give you a broad idea, you know, figure out how to get out of town. You gotta go talk to some of the AIs around. So some of these you have to come talk to find out where to go. I think that this guy here is going to be like a main quest giver, or doing like side missions to get money. Because this would be like, you know, this is a mining town, so as you've collected your ore, your scraps or whatever, you're either going to turn them in someone here, or I could have like scraps that you can turn in at the junkyard. Not a person that runs the junkyard yet, but I think we eventually need there to be somebody that operates the junkyard anyways. But that person could be a quest giver too. So that's probably what we'll do next. I don't quite have that dialogue worked out. I can start working on make a sweet crane game in the junkyard. You know, that would definitely be neat. Have like a pile of stuff here that you got to get on the crane and like bring over to the crushing machine or whatever, and that would be interesting. Alright, so what we need to do here is I need my custom, what did I call it? Did I not make it a stamp? I had to have made it a stamp. Maybe I didn't make it a stamp. I thought I made it a stamp. This guy. Custom interact volume. I guess I didn't make it a stamp. It's just a group for right now. But I'm going to grab the one from over here with Jax, because I've made some modifications to it. Just gonna turn that around. We're gonna put this here. And probably, I mean, it's probably too big, to be perfectly honest. I would like for this to not be on to begin with. I don't want you to be able to come over. I would like for this text. I need a name for this person. So if anyone in the chat has suggestions for a good name for this person, I don't have a name picked out. What does this person's name look like it would be? What's the question? I need a name for this person. Scarlett, Janet. Francis, Aurora. Vendor. Kind of like a handful of these. Ruby. Ruby's interesting. Ruby would be... So Ruby would be an ironic name. Because Ruby is also a stone, right? And this person is someone that's going to collect stones and other things that you mine, turn in. However, you can't actually mine rubies here. Possible that's red hair. It looks kind of more light brownish to me, but it's hard to tell. She is stoned. I don't know about stone, but she's definitely bugging. Yeah, I think a name like that, Ruby, Amber, something in that family is gonna fit best here. I like the unique spelling of Amber. I need. No, I don't need to change there. I don't need to change anything there. I would just need to change what happens when you interact here. So. I think I also need a flip here. Flip. Bring that flip right to you. Yeah, a couple event nodes in here. One more core delivery. Windows machine will work again. Nice. Then your first action is going to be installing everywhere, right? This one will be Amber flip on. One will be off. This will be not auto show on start. I don't know what icon. It's gonna make sense. One of these days I need to just put all of these objective icons and see what they all look like. Because I don't actually know what they all look like. And what I think I want to do here, I need 2 events here as well. What are these in? Off is on the right, on is on the left. So this will be Amber available. Amber unavailable. For those in there, I'll just pop these up a little bit higher so I can see them later on. And so what this should mean, if I did all of that correctly, actually, probably isn't the best place to do this, but this is where I'm going to do this. This one is Amber available. Just going to trigger the blip on. Amber unavailable is just going to trigger the blip off. I don't really need the events there, but if for whatever reason I want to turn the blips on without turning the area on, I can do. And if the area is available, the blip should be on. Then we'll come over here. Once you finish this quest, once you finish talking with Jax, Amber will become available. So we'll trigger that event here as well. So now, just to make sure that all of that is working. And just for some fun, so part of the quest is going to be walking around and talking to people, gathering information. I'll make that so it's not just always stationary people. So yeah, I can't run in here. I can't jump. That's good. Then when I come out here, all that stuff. I can see that the blip for Amber is not available. Minimap, just the blip for Jax. I make sure that I can't go over here and talk to him. I'll probably put like a zone wall or something there so you can't just walk over the desk. But yeah, can't talk. But yeah, so like I'll make it so some of these people are interact with them. Part of the quest too. And it's not, that'll just mean they're not always in the same spot. You actually have to like search for them or something. Come up here, talk to Jax. Again, not the real dialogue. Get the real dialogue figured out at some point. Dialogue wraps up, closes out, camera comes back. Now I can see that the new blip is on the map. And hopefully, yeah, so this is the one thing that is really going to irk me with the custom UI stuff. So if anyone from Barb happens to be listening in, the positioning of my text, if it's left aligned, should be where the left of it starts. So I should be able to say the left of my text is, this is like a center, it's in the center, it's positioned center, bottom, padding on the bottom to bring it up. I should be able to say the padding on the right of 50 or whatever it is where the left side of the text starts. And then it just takes up however much space after that. Because right now, this text is never going to be in the same spot. It's, if I change what the text is, if it's longer or shorter, it's going to shift it around to put the center of the text at what that padding is. And if my text is aligned center, that's what I would expect. But if my text is aligned left, that's not what I would expect. I know, right? Constantly complaining. I guess not constantly. It's really all just the minor things, though, at the end of the day. Like, I can fix this just by going in here and adjusting, which is what I'm going to do. But it would be nice to not have to do this. So then I could make a more dynamic, reusable thing. So yeah, this has no padding at all. So I need probably like 15 left to bring that over. 15 might be too much. For the sake of being able to test this out, well, yeah, it would definitely be a big quality of life thing. Be able to more easily position the text where you would expect it to go. It's going to have this on by default. So I can just run over here and see how that looks. I would very much like to, so this dialog box, the one that's coming up for the text here, the one that comes up when I talk to Jax, this is all a reusable dialogue thing, right? I designed the dialog box, I got the corner pieces in there, I set up 5 different places where text can show up. And you can pass all that text in through advanced variables. And have it show up. So I can do 4 lines of text plus a name of the person that's speaking. And because it's for dialogue, I can generally, well, because it's for dialogue and because there's a limit to how many characters I can put into a string variable, I could make the dialogue fit that, and it's reusable for everything. But like these little dialogues, I can't really do that with, because I don't want to have this huge, like, a third of the screen width thing just to say press F. And then just fix the text in a very specific spot. But yeah, the whole thing with not positioning the text, left line text on the left side of where it starts, it's frustrating because it makes it difficult if you're not trying to center everything. If you're not trying to have center aligned text everywhere, then the length of the text throws off the position. But yeah, this looks good. I think that 15 is fine. Fill it with W's to get the limit. I actually haven't done that. I can probably... I'm going to do it over here with the dialogue for Jax. So, like I said, I have 5 different text fields on it. So I can set who the speaker is, or I can just leave it blank and it won't show a speaker. And then 4 lines of text. So I'm not using these last 4 lines, so that's my limit. That's as long as I can make a string. Let's see what that looks like. Pretty sure it should all fit in the dialogue. Intro is pretty slick. It's pretty good. I think there's maybe going to be more to it. Maybe. But I'm also going to make it so you're only watching the intro your first time here. When you come back to like continue later, if you load into the Arc again, it'll skip that intro. How far down can I get before the ship lands? Yeah, almost to the saloon before the ship lands. Okay, so max W is actually just slightly wider than the text that I can display in there. I'm not going to have somebody say that many W's, so I think we're good. All right, so I think we're gonna wrap things up here. See, it's noon, so yeah, we got some running around we got to do later today. I think this is a good stopping point. I think for the next stream, we'll focus on some of the quests here. I'm going to call these like side quests. A lot of these quests aren't that you're going to get from Amber here. Aren't going to be story progression quests, story progression quests, but more just like money gathering quests. So we'll try to figure out what kind of things we can do there. Then once we get a person to run the scrapyard here, we'll do a similar thing, so you can do quests for the scrapyard as well. Because Eli is going to need money. So that's one of the things that Jax is going to tell her. It's, you know, it's going to cost you money to get out of this place. So Eli is going to have to hustle, do these quests. And then yeah, hopefully by Tuesday, so my next stream will be on Tuesday evening, I will try to flesh out as much of the story as I can. I guess as much as like the dialogue and what needs to go into moving the story along. So we can start implementing some of that stuff on Tuesday as well. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming out. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And see you all on Tuesday. Bye.